So one of the biggest things that we're doing as firefighters is controlling what we can. And in order to reduce our disease risk, we have to eat what's called an anti-inflammatory diet. Now, before you start thinking about it being a lot of foods that you don't like, let me explain exactly what an anti-inflammatory diet is and how you can execute it, and you'll see it's a lot easier than you think, okay? So nutrition is one of your secret weapons. It's not just about being lean and looking good, but we're going to work on that. It's about fueling the body with nutrition. One of the biggest tricks the food industry did was get people to think that calories were more important than nutrients. We're going to focus on quality, okay? So we want to have a well-balanced diet that is going to improve our physical performance, but it's also going to improve our risk of getting disease, and it's also going to improve our mental health, which we know as firefighters is something we especially need to work on, right? So when it comes to nutrition, like anything else in life, it's about consistency. There's a saying, 70% of your results in the gym come from your nutrition, 30% come from your workouts, but 100% comes from your consistency. So by consistently making healthy food choices most of the time, which we'll get into later, I got a thing you guys are going to like, you're going to reduce the risk of chronic disease such as heart disease, diabetes, and cancer, which we know firefighters suffer from because of high stress and harmful substances. So proper nutrition is key to avoiding disease. Let's talk about inflammation, right? You've heard about it. Inflammation is a natural response. That's what a lot of people don't realize. It's there to reduce injury and prevent infection. The problem is when inflammation becomes chronic, then it turns into an enemy that attacks us. So most of people who are in high inflammatory environments are under high amounts of stress. They're very correlated. So stress is part of it, but also poor diet, which causes you stress, lack of exercise or too much exercise, and exposure to toxins, which we are frequently exposed to. So we want to avoid foods that also have toxins. Chronic inflammation doesn't always present with clear symptoms. It can silently contribute to things over time. Torn ligaments, torn muscle, arrhythmia, anxiety, depression. You talk about things that we suffer from. Inflammation is a culprit, right? So when inflammation becomes chronic, your body's in a state of fight or flight all the time. This is going to damage your blood vessels, okay? That's why firefighters get heart attacks so much, because stress makes blood vessels stiff, okay? And we don't want stiff blood vessels when we got to get up at 3 in the morning and lug a hose around or knock down a door, okay? Or cut a hood open with a K-12. So when we talk about an anti-inflammatory diet, we're talking about eating certain foods. Those are leafy green vegetables, which are packed with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Antioxidants reduce free radicals. Free radicals destroy DNA. So we want to reduce free radicals. These green leafy vegetables are also high in fiber, which improves gut health. Berries. My favorite food is blueberries. It's actually the food you can eat the most of and get the least calories of any food out there. And I've done my research, trust me. So berries are the best fruits because they are low in calories and super high in not just nutrients, but also antioxidants, giving you that anti-inflammatory effect. Fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines, they have a lot of omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acids, again, reduce free radicals, reduce inflammation, and support heart health. Nuts and seeds. Nuts and seeds also have healthy fats, fiber, and protein. But on top of all those good macronutrients, they have micronutrients like antioxidants and omega-3 fatty acids. Now, before you start eating nuts by the pound, nuts are high in fat. So if you eat too much fat, you're going to gain weight. So you want to make sure you limit your nuts, get your fat from eating fish that has a lot of protein, okay? Olive oil, you want to use olive oil, avocado oil on your salads and in your cooking. Even butter is good because it has omega-3 fats. Turmeric, tomatoes, green tea, they all have anti-inflammatory components. Turmeric you could sprinkle on. You could take it as a supplement, which we'll get to later. Tomatoes. Eat as many tomatoes as you can in your salads. And of course, green tea, which also has caffeine. So instead of having coffee in the afternoon, have some green tea. So what are some easy ways to get these foods into your day? Smooth cooking your fish in bulk, snacks to keep on hand, some nuts, some beef jerky, and herbal teas instead of coffees. Meal prep. Meal prep is your best friend, okay? Because meal prepping is going to allow you to have food at the station for you. You got to eat with the boys, but if the boys aren't eating healthy that night, it's okay to eat your own food to reduce inflammation and influence them in a positive way. You want to make sure your plate, the main thing on your plate, and we'll get into these macronutrients in the course later, but this is more about anti-inflammatory foods. The main thing on your plate needs to be your protein, your chicken, your beef, your fish. Then you're going to have some complex carbohydrates and then a lot of vegetables. That's what your plate should look like. So you got to plan ahead. Chop your vegetables up. Cook your meat in bulk. One of the things I like to use when I'm stuck in a situation where I don't have time is meal prep. So I'll get meals from a company. I'll tell them exactly what I want. And then this way I get the food that I need. Plus I save the time that it takes me to shop and cook so I can get more done, which helps a lot. And at the end of the day, you end up spending the same amount of money. But since you save time, you save money because time is money. Meal prep hacks, right? Like I said, chop your vegetables, store them, cook in bulk. Slow cookers. These are great. Put a bunch of meat and vegetables in a slow cooker. Let it cook. You could go, say you're single. You could put it in a slow cooker before you go to shift. When you come back, you got food for the whole day. And then you don't have to cook. Or if you're not single, you can do it for your wife or your wife can do it for you. Make sure you guys, when you cook something, cook a lot of it because you want to use leftovers. You don't want to be cooking every day. If you can cook every third day, you're going to be successful. Smart grocery shopping. Okay, how do we grocery shop? It's easy. Don't buy anything with more than one ingredient. I have a lot more stuff here that you can go through on your own, but you basically want to eat whole foods that have one ingredient. Meat has one ingredient, okay? It has a lot of vitamins, a lot of minerals, but it's just meat. It's not meat plus sugar plus flour plus salt plus something you can't pronounce. Those are processed foods. If it's on the shelf, if it's in a box, it's processed. It's going to be low in nutrients and high in calories. You want foods that are whole, that are low in calories and high in nutrients. That simple shift will change your health. I've been running a gym for 10 years. I've been a personal trainer for 20 years, and nothing makes the difference like proper nutrition. Don't overthink it. Eat whole foods. Let's see here. You want to make sure you're drinking lots of water, okay? A lot of us drink too much coffee. I'm guilty of that. And when I start to drink too much coffee, I start to get urinary issues. I start to have trouble sleeping. So instead of drinking a lot of coffee throughout the day to stay up because we're chronically tired, and then drink water for the rest of the day. If you're tired, lay down on the recliner and take a nap. If you're running calls, tilt your head back in the truck and do some deep breathing. That will lower your stress and your fatigue. Caffeine is not going to do that. Caffeine is only going to make you more tired in the long run, and it's going to ruin your sleep. So, lower your caffeine. We all love caffeine, but just lower it. When it comes to drinking sodas, that's a no-no. You don't want to drink your sugar. Sugar's fine if you eat it in foods like fruit and complex carbohydrates because they have fiber. Fiber is nature's way of giving sugar something that keeps it from spiking your blood sugar too much. When you drink a soda or you drink a Starbucks coffee that has a bunch of crap in it, that sugar, even a Gatorade, even juice is all sugar. It's going to shoot your blood sugar up, cause you to release a bunch of insulin, and lead to insulin resistance, which leads to diabetes. So we want to make sure we're not drinking our sugar. Okay? If you now it's the summer. You should probably be drinking a gallon of water a day when you're on shift because you're going to sweat, especially when you go out and have to put gear on and it's sunny or you're drilling or whatever. So use some of those electrolyte tablets in your water, because it's not just about losing water, it's about losing magnesium. It's about losing potassium, which can upset the balance of your body, which can upset your sleep, and it can even cause heart problems, okay? So on top of eating right, we want to practice stress relief, because if our bodies are out of fight or flight, meaning they're in rest and digest, we eat, we have to digest. We need to go from sympathetic dominant to parasympathetic dominant so that we can begin to digest those foods and put them in the right places. How do we lower stress? Well, we know the job is stressful. We know life is stressful. So we have to proactively lower it through a couple things that I like to do for 5 to 10 minutes a day. Breath work and meditation. We're talking about inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale for 8. You could do box breathing like Navy SEALs do. You inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. 5 minutes of that. Then take 5 more minutes to allow your thoughts to go wherever and meditate on being, and just meditate in general. Just allow your thoughts to go wherever they want. Blank. Meditation is just taking stimulus away and allowing your own mind to rest, okay? Physical activity. Physical activity is a stress reliever if you're not overstressed. If you come off a shift where you ran 4 calls after midnight and in the morning you go to work out, and then your workout is 10 to 15 minutes of your heart rate being 80% or higher of your max heart rate, you're causing more damage than good. So when you come off a bad shift, you need to do low intensity work like strength training or yoga. If you've had a great shift, then you can train a little bit harder. But you have to be smart. You have to understand that you are not a normal person. So you just can't power through the day after a bad shift. You need to go to sleep, okay? Social connections. Harvard did a study. 70 years they followed people. The people that lived the longest had the strongest social connections. They didn't have the most, but they had the strongest. So keep in touch with your friends. Call your parents. Call your kids. And make sure you're keeping those connections strong, because that is what's going to keep you alive longer when the going gets tough. Okay? Improving sleep quality requires you. Look, I know you're rolling your eyes right now. My sleep is shit. Yeah, I've been there, my brother. Insomnia. Not being able to go to sleep at night, waking up all the time, restlessness off the charts. We can't control the fact that we have been exposed to sleep deprivation, but what we can do is mitigate that with sleeping good outside of the station. And what that means is going to bed at the same time every night. So we know you're getting up for 6 a.m. for work. No, I'm sorry, 5 a.m. to be at work by 6:30, 7 o'clock. Some of you guys even earlier. You got to get to bed 7 to 8 hours before you want to get up. So if you get up at 5, you need to be in bed by 9:30. Okay? You don't want to go to bed at 10, 11 and get up at 5. That's going to destroy you over the long run, especially when you're at home and you can actually control what time you go to sleep and what time you wake up. Your sleep environment, it's got to be dark. It's got to be cold. I'm talking 68, 67 degrees, blacked out. So there's no light coming in, and then you want it to be quiet. When I say quiet, I use a white machine, because if it's too quiet, I hear the dog. My kids get up. I hear these little noises which trigger me to wake up, just like an alarm would. So white noise, when you're not at work, allows those noises to get drowned out, and you won't hear that stuff. So make sure you use that. I personally like rain and thunder. And you know you got to limit screen time before bed. We all know it. We doom scroll before bed. A lot of us, the younger generation guys. So just give yourself 5 to 10 minutes. Like, set a hard deadline. Put that shit to the side and do some deep breathing. Like literally 5 minutes of deep breathing every single day will drop your stress tremendously. Just like anything else. You do one day, it's not going to make a difference. You can do one day a week for 30 minutes. It's not going to make a difference, just like if you work out once a week. So do 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes. I guarantee you look at your Instagram screen time and you'll see that's more than 5 minutes. So what are the long-term strategies that help us do this, right? We got to plan ahead. We got to have the foods available. If you have shitty food in your house, you're going to eat shitty food. So have healthy food in your house. Cook your food. Be prepared, right? You want to stay hydrated. Bring your water. Bring a jug, not a plastic jug. Get yourself a nice, Yeti or something and keep your water in it and drink 2 or 3 of them throughout the day. Keep healthy snacks at the station. If you only got shitty snacks at the station, that's what you're going to eat. So keep the healthy stuff there. And supplements. Supplements are great once we get everything dialed in. Even if we don't have it all the way dialed in, certain supplements will help you right away. And one of those, which saved my life after I retired and I was deep in a depression, was holy basil. It's an adaptogenic herb that helps the body cope with stress by regulating cortisol levels and balancing neurotransmitters, reducing anxiety, but it also has antioxidant properties. So it lowers oxidative stress and it helps you prevent disease. Lower stress prevents disease. You got to take this stuff twice a day, 300 to 600 milligrams per day. Omega-3 fatty acids. None of us are eating enough salmon or mackerel on a daily basis to get all the omega-3s we need. Get yourself a high quality fish oil. Even krill oil is better than fish oil, but make sure the EPA and the DHA, which are on the back, read the label, are around 2,000 milligrams combined. Turmeric is one of the greatest anti-inflammatory properties. You can take it as a supplement. You can sprinkle it on your food. You can cook with it. Make sure you're taking turmeric every day. Vitamin D. Okay, we say vitamin D, but it's actually a pro-hormone. Vitamin D is the precursor of over 300 chemical reactions in your body. So if you have low vitamin D, you have a shitty 300 chemical reactions, which the least aren't immunity, reducing cancer risk. There's another course on here that talks just about vitamin D and reducing cancer risk, and of course building strong bones and healthy muscles. So get your vitamin D tested. Go to the assess class and check all the assessments you should do. You got to know your numbers, just like a business. Your body is your business. You got to know your numbers. Check your vitamin D levels, and then make sure you're around 40 to 60, and even 60 to I've heard is optimal. Personally, I take vitamin D every day. If I get a lot of sun, I might skip it, but I'm never really in the sun that much because I'm white and I'll get burned and I don't want to get skin cancer. So I'm in the sun because you need the sun too, but then I also take some vitamin D. Magnesium. This is another one that helps different reactions in your body, and we don't get any magnesium in our food anymore because our soil is degraded. So you want to make sure you're taking a healthy magnesium. I like to do magnesium glycinate. I do 400 to 600 milligrams a day, especially before bed. It helps improve sleep. And then a multivitamin to fill in the gaps because, like I said, soil degradation, a lot of foods don't have the proper vitamins and minerals that they used to have. So make sure you're taking a healthy multivitamin. You don't need $100 a month athletic greens. You can get a $15 multivitamin, and most of them are really good. So think about it like this. You're lowering your risk of disease. You're losing weight and you're lowering inflammation, which is going to give you more energy. You just got to be aware of what foods you need to eat. You need to be prepared, and you need to remember that this is one piece of the puzzle. And by adding more pieces to the puzzle is how we lose weight, lower inflammation, feel great, improve sleep, improve sex drive, improve confidence, improve energy, spend more time with the kids, live longer. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you have any questions, I'm going to have this document down at the bottom. You can download it and read it through as you want. And then make sure you check out the next video where we talk eating to lose fat. And then also make sure you check out your KPI video and your assessment video, because if you start doing these things consistently, your life is going to change and your future is going to change.